1. And welcome back to Late Night Lately, the late night show, the the late night podcast for the website cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. Do you think, this is episode 35, do you think, A, that was the right theme song? But B, do you think, actually, I don't even know if I mentioned it on the show. The short of it is, I've been the app I use for because I've been gone for 3 weeks. Yeah, I think this is what I mentioned. The app I used for the soundboard was Spotify for podcasters. Spotify, which purchased Anchor and turned the Anchor app into Spotify for podcasters. Got rid of that functionality of being able to use it as a soundboard and just generally make a podcast on there, which I never used it for. I just wanted to use a soundboard. Every soundboard app on the App Store sucks and or costs money. So now I've been forced to use GarageBand, where I made the songs for every single one of these shows, these podcasts that I have. Oh my gosh. So here we are. And then I had to, use my hand to touch the screen as an iPad is. Oh, my iPad, I only use the Apple Pencil, which I had to replace a couple weeks ago. Here we are, episode 35 of Late Night Lately. I don't have any jokes for you like I usually do. It's been a busy week. I'll get into that on the Constitutionals. So, let's get on with This Week in Late Night. It was a very, I'll say this. They've been off for 3 weeks. Most of them. A couple of them have been off for 2 weeks. I forgot. I forgot to open up a show on here. But now everybody's back. Kimmel's still not back. But the show, Jimmy Kimmel Live, is back. And I noticed at some point After Midnight is not back. So there's that. But everybody's back. Daily Show was off, I think, last week. They took last week off. But for a little bit, they were the only ones on, which I still find odd. If I was doing late night, everybody should get together and go, hey, let's just go off. Well, here's when our breaks are. Anyway, and now everybody's back. It was for a lot of shows. I find that during these summer breaks and the winter break, the Christmas breaks, I find the holiday breaks. I find that it is very tough for a show to jump back on. I think with SNL, it's that same intensity is there, and so when they're off for 3 weeks at a time, they've had enough time to recuperate and to make, have more sketch ideas, and an okay SNL episode is as good as no SNL episode. I mean, I think that's just how I feel at this point in time. Also, during the summers, I watch a lot of SNL clips. I find a lot of SNL clips and a lot of old episodes. And every time I'm always surprised. Oh, Sherry O'Terry was on at the same time as this person. Oh, Cecily Strong's first year was during the same the last 2 years of this person. It's crazy. I'm always surprised. It's like I'm always finding out what's going on. But here we are, enjoying ourselves, doing late night. I think, and the reason why I brought that up, like about the slow start, is, I did not watch every Colbert episode this week. I never watch every Colbert episode because I think his audience claps way too much. But I watched a couple of clips, and I watched last night's episode, and boy, oh boy, there were no jokes. I did not laugh once, not even a smile. And yes, I was on my iPad as it was playing on my TV. But I can do two things at once. I was watching a closer look. I was doing not a closer look. I was watching all of late night. I always watch late night. I was watching all of late night, and I was still on my iPad. There was a point where I was reading something, a comment about something, and I had to pause the episode. And I came back to it. Any hoozles. But it's just fascinating to me how Colbert's show, I just was not laughing. And I just felt like every joke would. I don't understand. Sorry, Google just said something. I don't understand how his audience enjoys that, but I know what his audience looks like. They're all white Redditors who just like, oh, I love comedy. I love comedy so much. That's what they say. Anyway, but he had obviously had a good set of, well, actually that's not obvious because not every show has a good set of people, but he had a good set of people. Also, I didn't know that he did stand-up, that Colbert had stand-up on his show. He had Allie Makovsky on doing her debut set, which is really cool. I like seeing people do sets on late night shows. Bowen Yang was on. And then let's go to The Tonight Show. I pulled some clips. We don't have to talk about it. Alex Wagner was on. She talked about Kamala Harris. I thought it was great. Let's go to The Tonight Show. In the latest episode, he had Ben Schwartz and Halle Berry on. And Ben Schwartz came out being silly as always. I love Ben Schwartz. Very funny. He's a very, very funny guy. And speaking of late night stand-up, Jimmy had Jessica Keenan on. Who's Charlie Vickers? I don't know who this is. Oh, he's on The Rings of Power, I guess. Daveed Diggs, Kim Kardashian, Elizabeth Banks, Liza Colin-Zayas from what's it called? The Bear. She's great. Channing Tatum. And then Rachel Dretch came out and played the Australian breakdancer from the Olympics, which was hilarious. All right, let me go on to Late Night with Seth Meyers, who had a couple of great closer looks. And John Mulaney came out, confirmed his marriage to Olivia Munn, and brought his mother-in-law to the show. And she was very funny, very natural person. He also had Alona Meyer on, talking about the gold medal that she won, or bronze medal. I don't know, one of those medals. Who cares? She was in the Olympics, and she did well. Mia Farrow, Patti LuPone, Myha'la from HBO's Industry, and Casey Affleck, which was I don't know how we're supposed to feel about that guy still. But he came on, and he's very affable, I would say. Jeff Goldblum hosted Jimmy Kimmel Live this week, and watching Jeff Goldblum do monologues is difficult to say the least. But he's such an engaging person when he talks. He can't deliver a joke worth anything, but he's such an engaging person. It's not meant to be some type of dig at him. It was just, Jeff Goldblum trying to be him while also trying to be the host person. He talked to people like Awkwafina and John Cena, both separately on separate nights, promoting the movie Jackpot, a movie I watched last night. I stayed up late to watch it. And by late, I mean I stayed up until 9:45 to watch it. I watched it from 7:30 to 9:45. I had to pause it because I made some popcorn. And I brushed my teeth and washed my face. And then I finished it at 9:45. I just miss comedies. Even if like not every joke lands, I miss wild comedies like that movie. He also had Rob Delaney on and Mark Wahlberg, Omar Sy. Fantastic. And then he helped actors get health insurance, as I mentioned last week. And that's pretty much it. Oh, and then The Daily Show. Here's the thing. This is it. So The Daily Show was on this week. It came back. I did not know that on Tuesday. So Monday going into Tuesday. I did not know that because YouTube TV, for some odd reason, every so often, it doesn't happen all the time, But every so often, YouTube TV refuses to record, an episode of The Daily Show or episode of Late Night or an episode of whatever. And then I have to find alternative means to watch it. So I just went. I thought Desi Leidig was hosting the entire week, but she hosted this week. It was great. Everything was good. And then last week tonight, I am admittedly halfway through. Actually, I think I'm like a fourth of the way through the latest episode, so I have no idea. He's talking about Hawaii or something. But I had to stop it to go work out. All right. Let's talk about the Chris Gethard Show. It is back for one night only at the UCB Theater. I found this out by scrolling Instagram because I'm still subscribed. I call following people being subscribed to them because really, I'm just getting their content. I follow Chris Gethard, and it was a very big surprise to see September 13th at 9 p.m. They're going to be doing for the grand reopening of UCB New York, which I also did not think was going to happen. They are doing the Chris Gethard Show. And let me go to the website because this is still an Instagram post. Oh, good Lord. It's so Instagram is such a difficult interface on the web. I'm loading the website. I guarantee that tickets are sold out for this. First of all, I want to find out what borough this is in. All right, let me go to maps because apparently you can't just search for a street on Google because then it'll search for the street in your city. And in Atlanta, I just brought up that. All right, so I'm in. Okay, it is in. What borough is it in? It's in the East Village, closer towards Union Square. Let me see what kind of building this is. This must be riveting to hear. There's a KFC. There's a KFC. There's a TOPO nearby. Gourmet deli. A bait and hook shack, which I guess is a restaurant. I'm missing the part where the UCB is supposed to be. I'm at East 14th Street. Anyway. Oh, can you live stream the Chris Gethard Show? Because I will. All right, the New York show calendar. Let's see what the New York show calendar looks like. They're doing Hamilton. I don't know what that is. I'm going to look for the Chris. Okay, so September 13th. Oh, it is sold out. $15. They don't have the description. Here it is. It's described as, in 2009, a late-night talk show called The Chris Gethard Show was born at UCB. In 2011, it became a cult sensation public access show. A few years after that, it became a cable television show that had some legendary moments and legendarily bad ratings. That's funny. In 2018, the whole thing came to an end. Until now, one night only. TCGS is back, helping to relaunch the theater where it all began 15 shockingly long years ago. A part of the crew are the regular people: Chris Gethard, Shannon O'Neill, Murph Meyer, Connor. I talked to Murph Meyer years ago, probably 10 years at this point. Oh, also the website turned 11 on Monday. Happy birthday, C+ Company. Connor Rateliff, Riley Saloner. I like that guy. He's a funny guy. The world's greatest dancer, Rob Malone, Bill Florio, and more. Tickets are $15 in advance, $20 the day of the show. They sold out online, so I'm guessing that the tickets are there. I can't wait. It's going to be fun. I'm not going to be there, but let me see. Let me see if you can watch it online. I also spelled Chris wrong. I didn't know they had a live stream. That's what they should be doing this entire time. If people don't, okay, it's not going to be live streamed. If people want to go see a show or are able to, then they will. But I can't imagine not live streaming this show. They're not live. There's nothing on the calendar in September. Let me delete the search inquiry. There's nothing on the calendar, period. Wouldn't it be great if they live stream this show? I would watch it. I love the Chris Gethard Show. The Chris Gethard Show, let's just talk about it. The Chris Gethard Show is basically a talk show where Chris talks to everyday normal people. It's I can't really describe it as anything but, because it was just, you talk to, they'll talk to like a crab fisherman, and that guy will have a story, and that's pretty much it. And then when it moved to television, I can't speak much for the public access days, but when it moved to television, they got huge stars to come and hang out and do the chat show element. So when it was at UCB, it was truly just a talk show that was, and it's out of hand. They'll have like a guy on a dirt bike, or like a woman doing hula hoop backflips, and it's just a stupid fun. Truly, that's what it is, just stupid fun. When it moved to public access, that's when I started hearing about it, because people would in that world pass around VHSs and tapes and stuff, and DVDs and VHSs. They just pass around, clips and things of that show, and it would just be, 7 people drinking gallons of milk and see who could get it down faster, stuff like that. Eventually, when it moved to Fusion, that's when I started watching, because it was on Fusion. I believe I was living at home because I graduated. Yeah. So it premiered like the same summer I graduated from college, and you could watch it, a more concise and tight version of it. They would have, not like Jason Bateman, but they had like Jason Bateman on, and they had like Will Arnett on, and just talking about, why did I just name those two of the smartless guys. Also, I posted a video celebrating 11 years of C Plus Comedy on Instagram, and somebody sent me a DM and said, "Do you like Smartless?" And I went, "No, I do not like Smartless." But good for those guys starting podcasts. And oftentimes on that show, they would have, besides a celebrity guest, which include, I now have a list: Ira Glass, Maria Bamford, Will Ferrell. They would often have indie band, not even like indie bands, like bands, just like people just playing at the end. Like, okay, here's Trash Can with their new single Helvetica, and then they would play that, and then that would be great, and then that'd be the end of the show, and that, it was just, I really love the Chris Gethard Show. It is something special, and I think it really at a time, especially in 2015 when it was on Fusion and when it went to True TV after the fact, at a time where there were late night shows all over the place. There were late night shows on YouTube. There were late night shows all over broadcasting, all over cable. There were late night shows. This show really stood out, and it had a point. There when At Midnight came out. At Midnight was such a niche. It had a point, show that it was just about Twitter and things that happened on the internet, and it was really great. And After Midnight proves that it is. We still need something along those lines, as opposed to another show where it's a guy behind a desk going, "So tell me about your new project." And it's not to say that those don't need to exist, but those have been done over and over and over again. That's why shows like the Chris Gethard Show, At Midnight, Talk Show, The Game Show, Desus and Mero. That's why those shows work so well, is because they fill this niche that didn't even exist. A.D. Bryant, Seth Meyers, Wyatt Cenac, Ilana Glazer, Abby Jacobson, Kumail Nanjiani, Colin Quinn, Gerard Carmichael, John Hamm. And you can watch every single one. Actually, hold on. Don't quote me on this. I believe you can watch every single one of the Chris Gethard Show episodes on Chris Gethard's YouTube channel, which I am still subscribed to. No big deal. Watch One Man's Trash. Everybody will tell you to watch that, and it's very true. Watch One Man's Trash. Don't look it up. Don't Google it. Go straight to the YouTube channel. They're across the 11 or so years. Wikipedia says 7 from 2011 to 2018. So across those 7 years, there were 155 episodes plus 11 specials over there on the Manhattan Neighborhood Network, which is the public access version. 20 episodes plus one special of the Fusion series, and then 26 episodes of True TV. bringing it to a total of I don't know, I can't do the math. Oh my God, am I stupid? 166 plus 46. So I'm thinking 215. Let's do the math. 212. Whatever. Oh, 213 plus that one special. All right, so about 213 episodes. If you go over to Chris Gethard's YouTube channel right now, you can see there's a playlist of season 1 episodes, season 2 episodes, the public access years, as well as the Chris Gethard Show full episodes, which they have some unavailable videos, but it's fine. You can scroll all the way through those and rewatch episodes of the show. I think it's a fantastic show. I don't know if it will stand the test of time. There is some things that were just so hyper focused of that time period. I don't know. Anyway, I really love the Chris Gethard Show. I'm glad it's coming back, and I love niche talk shows. I talked to Chris Gethard twice in the past 5 years or I believe in that time period. I talked to him once about a stand-up special and then another time about a stand-up special. I think I talked to him about 2 stand-up specials. I don't remember. The first time it was good. The second time it was great. And he remembered me. And we had nice long chats both times. And it was during the pandemic. Yeah, that first time was during the pandemic. And I was working at Bounce TV. And I was one of 5 people coming into an office out of 200 some odd people. Did I get a gas stipend? No. Did people working at home get internet stipends? Yes. Did I get any special treatment? No. Was I let go from the job and the person who let me go did it over when we could be in person? Did it over Zoom? Did not look me in the camera eye and stopped responding to my emails. And she also got a promotion, I believe, that same week. All of that is true. But I made use of my time. I interviewed Chris Gethard during business hours. And it was I had a good time. I like Chris Gethard a lot. I told him, I think about this constantly. I told him, you, Mike Birbiglia, Pete Holmes, you're some of my favorite comedians because it's just like these schlubby guys who are kind of loserish. I said something along those lines, and he was like, oh, okay. Oh my goodness. Anyway, Chris Gethard Show is back, and I urge you to go watch the Chris Gethard Show on YouTube. It's a funny, great show that is all punk rock. Yeah, and that's a big thing. It's very punk rock. So if you're not into that, then too bad. Listen, if you like what you heard here, head to the website, cpluscomedy.com, where we can celebrate 11 years of C Plus Comedy. There's so many interviews. There's news time, which is, I swear on my life, it's coming back. I just could not handle it this week. We've got so many podcasts. We've got video. We've got audio. We've got written interviews that I never do anymore because that's too much work for one person who's not getting paid. Check it out. Thank you so much for 11 years. I know this show has only been on for a year and some change, but I like doing this. I like doing LinkedIn Logs, and I love doing the Constitutionals. I love. And news time exists. Now it'll be back. I promise. And I'm so happy that this show and LinkedIn Logs have been born out of me doing 2 other things and going, I'm talking way too much about these hyper focused things. Maybe I should put those and branch those out into something else. If you want to see a video version of the show, head to youtube.com/cpluscomedy, where you can see video versions of the Constitutionals podcast, which is the Entertainment Business News podcast, and LinkedIn Logs, which is the Jobs podcast. You can follow us subscribe to those wherever you get podcasts. Follow us on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at cpluscomedy. Thank you so much, and goodbye.